A few years ago, I did an episode of History Traveler down in Toccoa, Georgia, where the men of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment did their basic training prior to going over and fighting in the Second World War. And one of the highest compliments that I got from that video came from one of the men who was there. Many of you who are watching this now have probably had an experience with this guy at some point. It was Jim Pee Wee Martin. Well, unfortunately, Pee Wee has passed on, but some of the things that he took with him over to Europe in World War II are now right here at the Gettysburg Museum of History.
I want to talk to you today about some really amazing artifacts that we got fairly recently at the museum. Most of them are not on display yet. We're saving them for the new museum annex, but they're very extra special to me because I had spent a lot of time with this guy. This is Jim Pee Wee Martin, and he was in the 101st Airborne. He was in G Company, 506 Parachute Regiment, 101st Airborne, and I had the honor and pleasure of working with him on a TV show a few years ago for the Smithsonian Channel. And while we were filming that show, he was here for several days, and I got to spend some quality time with him. I had met him several times before at events, but we got to go out for dinner and actually talk a lot, and there's a lot of downtime in between shooting big TV shows like something on the Smithsonian Channel. So I really got to talk to him quite a bit and became very close and interested in his story. His memory was incredibly vivid and sharp, and and I probably asked him a million questions, but he sadly passed away a couple of years ago, and recently I was able to obtain a few artifacts from his family and one of his friends. So I'm going to go through those now. The really spectacular thing that I was hoping to get was this M42 jump jacket that was reinforced for D-Day, and Jim Pee Wee Martin had sewn on extra pockets. And so it's a really amazing piece. He had left this to one of his family members, namely his son, and his son decided that a good place to have this would be the Gettysburg Museum of History alongside our other 101st Airborne artifacts. So he kindly donated it to us fairly recently, a few months ago. And I'm going to go over a couple things on this. I'm going to slip over to the other side. His Screaming Eagle patch is over here. The extra pocket on the sleeve is an added feature. The two pockets, or the four pockets on the front, were there from the factory, but he added an extra pocket off of an extra uniform that he had on both sides. One of the most unique things about this jacket, in my opinion, is the fact that he added an extra zipper right here. Now that zipper was taken from the normal collar zipper that's up here. All these from the factory had a zipper up there, and that was to keep the jump knife, the folding, or the jackknife sometimes they're called. The other feature of this, of course, it has, because it was modified for D-Day, it has reinforcements around the pockets and reinforcements on the elbow as well. I'm just going to turn that a little bit. And that was added by parachute riggers. Pee Wee himself did not do that part of it. He added the pockets himself. So we're really happy to get this. We really want to thank his son for letting us exhibit it. We're very, very grateful to him. And I know it was a hard decision for him. He had a lot of sentimental connection to it. But it ended up here, and we're very grateful. So this is a compass. These were for engineers, and a lot of paratroopers used them too. They actually originally would have had a wristband on it. Wristband's now gone, but this was Pee-wee's. And this whistle was his. I don't know what he used it for, but it's a period whistle. It was with his stuff. And then this is the jump knife. Now this is the one that would normally be kept in the neck pocket. Of course, Pee-wee had the extra pocket I just talked about on his sleeve. And this is a one-handed knife. You know, it has a safety here. You have to push the safety, and then you can open it. And these were used in case the paratroopers would get stuck in a tree. You know, there's always a danger of paratroopers getting caught in trees and you're stuck up there. So the idea was to be able to pull this out with one hand and hold the parachute cords and cut them. And these were usually razor sharp. Jim Pee-wee Martin thought it would be better to have it on his left sleeve. That way he could grab the parachute ropes, pull it out with his right hand, get the knife, open it with one hand and cut that and get the left side down, and then move his way over to the right side. So I was very happy to get this knife as well. It's in really excellent condition. And there's a couple of war trophies that Jim brought back. This is a Hitler Youth knife, you know, and very common war trophy for soldiers. Jim brought this back. And a German armband. That was another one of his war trophies. So those all belong to him. Here's a picture of Jim. Now I'm going to have JD probably drop a better picture of this. I just printed this quickly off my phone. Jim brought two jump jackets back. They're pictured here. This is the one we currently have that is reinforced, and there he is holding those both those jackets later in life. One of the other family members, I believe, has the other jump jacket. And then here's another picture of him wearing, I believe that's this jump jacket because it doesn't have the pockets on the sleeve. But again, I have a better copy of this. I'm going to have JD drop that in. But again, we're very honored to have Jim Pee-wee Martin's items in the museum. He meant the world to me. You know, that experience of shooting that TV show. If you ever get to see it, it was Smithsonian Channel. It was called The Weapon Hunter, and the name of the show was called D-Day Detonator. I think that was it. But he and I did a scene where we used some of the rifles from our collection, and he shot an M1 Garand. He hadn't shot one since 1945. And then the host of the show, Paul Shaw, used a Mauser, a German Mauser, and they kind of compared the weapons. And Jim outshot Paul Shaw, a weapons expert, which was really funny. And you know, and it just proved how much superior that weapon was. And we had a great time shooting that. So again, Jim Martin's items, they'll be at the new museum. We're going to do a whole tribute to him, and we're really honored to have those items.
All right, well, those were a few of the things that belong to Jim Pee-wee Martin right here at the Gettysburg Museum of History. As Eric mentioned, when the expansion is completed, we will have those things out on display. There's also a memorial that is being built to him in his hometown in Ohio that I'm looking forward to seeing at some point. But anyway, heck of a guy.